My name is Tyler Dvorsky, and I will be presenting to you my informational interview. So, what's on the agenda for today is a little background on Hometown Market, their Indeed review, their dress code, an ad that they just recently posted for this weekend, my interviewee background, my interview questions, how this interview related to human resource management, and some key takeaways. So, Hometown Market was founded in 1982. They are a small local business chain. This picture of this one is in Hollidaysburg, PA. They also have stores in Phillipsburg and Williamsburg, I believe. They are a grocery store who are owned by the McEnany brothers, who are a food distributor in Evansburg, PA. So I chose to do an Indeed review because their Glassdoor review only had 1 or 2 reviews, and I felt that wasn't as reliable as a source. As to this one has 73 reviews, and 209 people have posted their salaries on this, and they received a 3.7 out of 5, which isn't half bad of a rating. So this is their dress code. Their dress code consists of Hometown Market merchandise and khakis or jeans. And I believe you have to wear closed-toed shoes there as well. And this picture right here is one of their employees running the cash register, and that's just an example of their dress code. Here is an ad that they posted on June 18th, and this was for Father's Day. This is just an example of how all their ads look. I just wanted to highlight this. Alright, so my interviewee background. So I chose to interview a man named Rick Ziders. He is their human resource manager. He graduated from Taylor Alderdice in 1995, which is located in Pittsburgh. And he graduated from Penn State in 1999 with a bachelor's degree in human development and human studies. He didn't have a LinkedIn account, he said. So I don't have the opportunity to provide that. But anyways, let's get into the interview questions. I chose 5 questions I felt that related heavily to this presentation and overall the class. So my first question was, what skills and abilities lead to having success in this field? Based off what Rick said was, he claimed that being organized is very important in this field. There are many factors, though, when working in human resources. He really expressed that you need to be firm, but also come off as kind and understanding. And he also said that you need to have roles, but also need to understand that things happen along the way that need to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. Therefore, pretty much he was just saying that anything could happen at any time, and you got to be ready for whatever hardships you may interfere with the job every day. So my second question was, what are the most common problems in the workplace? He expressed that the biggest problems are finding good employees and getting them to stay. He claimed that it's always a challenge when someone does not show up for their shift, which makes sense because if you don't show up for your shift, you're not only causing much more stress and work on your employees, but you're letting down the customers as well. And he also claimed that another problem is that team members do not get along, which can create a big problem because we've all had drama in the work field. I'm sure we've all dealt with it. It's never fun, and it just overall brings the entire workplace environment down. My next question I asked was, what advice would you give someone who is considering this type of job? Based off what Rick said, he pretty much said to treat everyone the same. When you start making exceptions, it is hard to enforce the rules, which is why you have to stay on a role basis. He really emphasized that. He said that you really need to be a people person, and you have to be comfortable interacting with others on a daily basis. But at the end of the day, he said that you have to put your personal feelings aside and do what's right for the job. And yeah. My next question was, have you ever led a project? If so, how did you keep your team together? Rick has led a project before, and he believes the best way to keep a team together is to have good communication with each other and assign specific tasks to each person. He also feels that deadlines are very important. Some advice he gave me was to show the employees that you are working just as hard or even harder than them. He said that if he is working harder than them, it kind of puts a little kick in their step, is what he said. And my final question I chose to put in this presentation was, have you ever had to fire someone, and if so, how was it? Sadly, he has had to let people go in the past. Rick is a very compassionate person. He comes off very nice, but he said when it comes to the point where someone is being fired, he believes they really deserve it. He told me that he gives employees many opportunities to correct their behavior, but most of the time employees quit on their own or stop coming to work before it gets to him firing them. He also expressed that in the grocery store business, they are not letting people go because of downsizing per se. They are always trying to look for new employees. It's just going back to what I just previously said before. People become unhappy. A lot of conflicts that interfere with their work life, apparently, is what he was saying. But they are always looking for new employees. And at the end of the day, it comes back to being fair to everyone. So, how did this interview relate to human resource management? Well, after this interview, I learned a lot about Hometown Market and their human resource position. As a part of the human resource team, you must be able to maintain and improve the organization's human resources by planning, implementing, and evaluating employees' relations with human resource policies, programs, and practices. Rick showed me what human resource people are responsible for, and based off what he told me, I feel overseeing the plan, implementation, and evaluation of employee relations and program and practices for the company is what he is responsible for. All of these characteristics have been talked about throughout the semester as well. So, finally, some key takeaways I got from this interview was that there are many characteristics that are needed to be able to be hired at an organization. You must work hard and be prepared for any problems you may face. You must be able to learn information while beginning your new job. You must be able to communicate with your colleagues. And last, I feel, which is the most important takeaway that I got from this interview, was that you need to be open to other people's opinions. There can't be any one-sided arguments within human resource. Like Rick said previously, whenever I was going over the questions, he said that you have to put your personal feelings aside, and I feel that's very good advice going forward with this job. And here are my sources. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen. I learned a lot from you this semester. Thank you so much, Professor.